You may have heard the word Benghazi a few times or a few thousand times in the past few years.
Probes about Benghazi.
The Benghazi committee.
You wouldn't have had your Benghazi situation.
Whether from Fox News and Republicans in Congress who insist it's a major scandal, or some liberals joking about it on Twitter, it all has to do with Republicans' deeper beliefs about Barack Obama's presidency and with the politics surrounding Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. But to see how Benghazi fits into all of that, you need to know exactly what happened in Benghazi in the first place. On the night of September 11th, 2012, a group of Islamist militia members attacked a U.S. diplomatic outpost in Benghazi, Libya. They killed 4 Americans, including the U.S. ambassador to Libya, Chris Stevens, who was visiting from Tripoli that week. The city was a center of the US-backed rebellion that toppled Muammar Gaddafi the year before, and a number of armed groups had emerged in the aftermath. It was a dangerous environment. However, the US had no intelligence suggesting a specific attack was imminent. At 9:42 p.m., the militiamen easily breached the gates of the compound and set fire to the building. A subsequent State Department review blamed systemic failures at the department's senior levels for the mission's poor security. Stevens had previously requested more security and not gotten it. In the chaos of the attack, U.S. security officers were separated from Stevens and Sean Smith, another State Department official. The 2 men died of smoke inhalation later that night. A team from the nearby CIA annex arrived and engaged militants before taking survivors back to the annex a mile away at 11:15. 40 minutes later, the attackers laid siege to the annex as well. The assault resumed around 5:15 a.m., with 2 more Americans, security agents Tyrone Woods and Glenn Doherty, killed by mortars firing on the annex. This later became a big controversy. Republicans accused Obama of withholding further military support that might have saved the day, but there were simply no military assets that could have gotten there in time. Starting around 7 a.m., the Americans were able to escape the compound and leave the country. The CIA initially blamed the attack on a mob protesting an anti-Islam movie, which had sparked protests elsewhere in the Middle East. Then UN Ambassador Susan Rice made this claim on several Sunday talk shows.
It began spontaneously in Benghazi as a reaction to what had transpired some hours earlier in Cairo.
That turned out to be mostly wrong. The attackers were members of Islamist militias, as we now know, not a random mob. Republicans accused the Obama administration of tampering with intelligence, specifically in Rice's talking points for the Sunday shows, to hide the fact that it was a terrorist attack.
Did the Obama administration play down what happened in Libya, what happened in Cairo, because it would make Obama foreign policy look better?
But later investigation showed that she'd honestly repeated CIA analysis rather than deliberately lying. Still, amidst the controversy, Rice withdrew herself from consideration to become the next Secretary of State. There have been 8 official investigations into Benghazi, mostly involving or led by congressional Republicans, and none has found any real evidence of a cover-up or wrongdoing by the administration, with the exception of the State Department's internal report blaming its own incompetence for failing to provide sufficient security. So why are Republicans still investigating? Partly out of a certainty that something was wrong, stemming from deep-seated Republican beliefs that Obama is both weak on terror and corruptly authoritarian enough to hide the truth. But this is also about politics. Republicans want to embarrass Obama and damage Hillary Clinton, who was then Secretary of State at the time of the attack. House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy admitted as much on national television.
Everybody thought Hillary Clinton was unbeatable, right? But we put together a Benghazi special committee, a select committee. What are her numbers today? Her numbers are dropping. Why? Because she's untrustable.
And it's kind of worked. The Clinton email scandal arose from one of the Benghazi investigations, so you can bet we'll be hearing about Benghazi well into the presidential election.